Fire when the storm hits you.
That's it, Brian?
Hi guys, it's me Fia here and welcome back to my channel. So I recently took a trip to Barbados, which is west of my country, and when I was on the plane they said it's like 35 minutes away, so it's pretty close. And I spent 3 days there and I drove around a lot and I got to see a lot and I learned a lot. So I want to share some of my experiences in Barbados. Of course, if you're from Barbados, this is not meant to offend you or anyone. This is just my personal experience and just some things that I picked up and learned while I was there. So guys, as I mentioned before, I did a lot of driving around in Barbados. Of course, I only spent 3 days there, so I didn't really get to experience a whole lot. There was more that I wanted to see, more that I wanted to do, but there's not much that you can do in 3 days, I guess. I mainly did sightseeing, but while I did sightseeing, the first thing that I picked up is that there are a ton of hotels. Like, there are so many hotels, and there are these tall, really tall buildings, and there are even some like condos or like apartment stuff that look like hotels because they're so tall and big and fancy and stuff. And there are like so many. I remember driving along a street and there's like a hotel here, a hotel there, a hotel like right after each other. I'm wondering if the competition is not like extreme. And this is also something very strange for me because where I live, there are only a few hotels and they're not like these really big buildings. They're more flat and like spread out. But these buildings were huge, and I've seen some really fancy hotels like the Marriott and the Hilton, I think, and I don't remember all the names, but they were like big and fancy and huge, and there are so many. If you go to Barbados, just know for sure that you will have somewhere to stay. So the second thing I picked up is that I noticed that there was like a fast food restaurant. I'm seeing it a lot, and it's called Chefette. It's like this yellow and purple building, and I saw like so many, and the people that I was staying with, I asked them, I said, okay, like how many Chefettes are there? I'm thinking like, okay, I've seen a good amount, but I'm thinking like less than 10, and they're like, oh yeah, there are probably like 17 Chefettes in Barbados. I'm like, what? We only have 2 KFCs in my country, and there are like 17 Chefettes, and that's just one fast food place. So I found out that Chefette is like local to Barbados, and I was wondering, like, I really wanted to try the food there because, you know, I didn't really get to try the local food, and I'm wondering, okay, what do they sell there? I mean, it's fast food, of course, but I was like, I want to go to Chefette. This is something that I want to do because I heard about it, and I'm just like, I have to try this. So eventually I did get to try it. I had their roti, which is like just a chicken roti, and I heard that they sell like, okay, there's a potato roti, just potato alone, there's a chicken roti, just chicken alone, and there's a potato and chicken roti. I'm like, I can't imagine somebody eating a roti with just potato. I didn't even know that was a thing, and that seems kind of unhealthy, but of course I did not do that. I had the chicken and potato roti, and it was really good. Like, when I saw it, it was like this big, and I'm like, that's it. I'm like, this is so tiny. But when I was eating it, it was so hard to finish. It was so filling, and it was very tasty. Yeah, really bright colors. Yeah, and basically any corner you go, you go here, there's a Chefette there, you go here, there's a Chefette there, then you go there. It's everywhere. I wanted to try more of their food, but of course I didn't get enough time, but the roti was really good. So since we're talking about food, the first day that I got there, we went to this mall, which is this really bougie mall where they have like not Forever 21, what am I saying? They had like Cartier and MAC and Ralph Lauren and all these really fancy stores. I don't know what we were doing there because we were not intending on buying anything, but of course I wanted to have Chefette. I was like, okay, I want to have Chefette today, and just to say I had it before, but there was surprisingly none in that area. So the closest thing that was there was KFC, and I'm like, I have KFC all the time at home, but you know, I'm really hungry and that's the closest thing, so we might as well get it. So we went to KFC, and the friend that I was with, she was ordering for me, so I got like a regular zinger, and she was like, okay, what kind of soda do you want? I was like, oh, can I get a Mobby? She's looking at me like, are you kidding me, a Mobby? I'm like, what? She's like, they don't have Mobby here, they don't sell the soda Mobby, because in St. Vincent, where I'm from, of course, in KFC and like those fast food places that have those drink dispensers, the sodas, Mobby is like a must. Anywhere you go, the cinema, whatever, you have Mobby. And she's frowning at me and looking at me like if I'm crazy because I'm asking for Mobby. She said they will laugh at you or look at you really weird if you ask for Mobby. I went to the cinema as well, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go up to the counter and ask for Mobby and hopefully they have Mobby. And she's like, you're never gonna get that. I mean, they probably sell like the Mobby in the bottle, like the Mobby syrup or anything, but the sodas, you would not find that with those drink dispenser stuff. And that was really shocking and sad for me because anytime I go and get a soda like from those things, I always get a Mobby. There's this thing, so all across the Caribbean there are some countries that get along with some, there's some that don't really get along with some, and it's been known for many years, or it's been at least stated, or I don't know if it's true, that Barbadians, they don't like Vincentians. Vincentians are people from where I'm from. So I wanted to see if this is true, like if any Barbadian or Bajan would act different around me just because of where I'm from. I wanted to see like, okay, is this true or is it a misconception that they don't really like us? I don't know what's the reason, but I hear lots of people saying it. Like many Vincentians that go to Barbados, they'll say, oh, they don't like us, or they don't, you know, they be really rude with us or anything. So I wanted to see if this was true. And when I got to the airport, I can say, I don't know if it was just a bad day, but the people working in the airport at the Grantley Adams airport were not very friendly with me. No smiles, they were pretty cold. I don't know if it's because they saw my passport or they knew where I was coming from or anything. They were really cold with me and not friendly. And I mean, I look friendly. I was being nice. I was smiling, but they were not smiling back. They were not being friendly. And I remember like the area where I think they check your luggage when you're leaving the airport, like, well, going out from the airport. You just arrived and you're leaving. So there was this guy that was working there, and I came up to him. Well, before I went up to him, there was somebody in front, and the person in front of me in the line, and she went to him and they were talking and he was laughing with her and being all friendly and bubbly. And the moment I got there, his face just like changed and he's being cold with me. And when he was talking to me, I was like, what? And he was like, am I ugly? I'm like, what are you talking about? I just don't understand your accent. I mean, the accent is a really hard accent to understand, but I'm just asking what, because I didn't understand. But he's asking me if I think he's ugly, and that's why I'm not responding to him. But I'm like, dude, I don't understand you, speak better. And he was being really rude. And yeah, he wasn't like, when I was asking him to like repeat, he kind of seemed like, really, you know, it was kind of like, it seemed like talking to me was a chore, or even being of service to me was like the last thing that they wanted to do. So I guess it's true. Maybe it's just the airport people, I don't know. But generally the other people, I mean, the people I stayed with were really nice. I met some nice people, I guess, around, but I wouldn't say they were very friendly. Like, they wouldn't just come up and talk to you. Nobody would be like that. I mean, when I was walking in the street with my friends, I got some cat calls, which is not fun. But yeah, I don't really get to interact with many of the other people, but so far, like, people in stores, they weren't very friendly. I don't know, maybe it's just, okay, they're tired and they're working all day and they just don't really want to interact. But yeah, so I don't know if the idea of Bajans not liking Vincentians is true. Comment down below, let me know what you think. If you're a Vincentian and you had an experience with being in Barbados, let me know. If you're from Barbados, let me know if this is true. Do you hate us? And why do you hate us? Okay, so I can't pronounce this word. I have a lisp, if you guys didn't notice. The sixth th, right? Thing that I picked up was that the buses don't wait for you to sit down before they drive off. So my friend and I, we took public transportation this one day, which was a great experience actually. I wanted to experience like the full culture of Barbados and stuff. And the vans are similar but kind of different to the ones here, which I would talk about. But I got into this van. It's like a bus, but not like a really big bus, but it was a bus. And we got in, and before I even got to sit down, the guy like drove off, and I'm like holding on to the seat, trying not to fall on my face. And I'm like, oh my goodness, people are gonna see and I'm gonna fall. I'm like, I turned to my friend, I'm like, what? He didn't even wait for me to sit down before driving off. And she said, they don't normally do that. They don't normally wait for you to sit down, but they're supposed to. So that was kind of rude, but luckily I didn't fall on my face. But how the vans are, I think they're like, okay, I noticed like 3 different styles of vans, of no, four different styles of like public transportation. They're the big buses. I didn't get to ride the big bus, but they're these really big buses. I'm guessing it's more quiet, and I don't know what's like. But they're the big buses, and they're the smaller buses. And the first one that I went in was like, it's like, I don't know if it's like an old people van or anything, but it had no music. It was really quiet. And yeah, they have their conductor. They don't stand up like by the door like what they do here. The conductor was sitting in the back, but she got up, and it was a she. We don't normally see she conductors, but she got up when the van got full, so other people could sit down and whatnot. And then there was one like that, but it was kind of more cultured. They were playing like music. It was really loud. They were playing music. It had like a design on it. It was green inside. I have a picture, I'll show you guys. And it seemed more like for the younger folks. So I'm guessing that's the old people van and the younger folks van, I don't know. And then there's the vans like the ones that we have in St. Vincent, which are like the ones that pile it up, put people jamming up next to each other, have loud music, they're rushing, they're speeding, the conductor is standing up when the van gets really full. So they had those as well, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm more accustomed to. I mean, it's not comfortable, but I didn't realize that they had this similar things to like what we have. So with like, since we're on transportation already, vehicles, like their license plates, they have like something to it. So like, for instance, I was staying in St. Thomas, and I'm guessing, okay, so if you live in St. Thomas, the first letter of your license plate will be like a T, and then you'll have the numbers. So like if you live in Bridgetown, I'm guessing it'll be B, and then you have like the numbers. So whatever place that you live in, it'll be the first letter of your license plate, which is very different from here, because here this is how we go. It's like P for private, R for rental, H for hired, T for truck, and G for government. So it was really different to here, but I thought that was really cool. But I'm like, okay, so there's a place called St. Andrew, St. Thomas, St. Lucie. I'm like, all of them begin with S, so how do you know which one? So I'm guessing it's like, since Lucie is L, you put L, and then Thomas will be T. And I was told that if it's like a place that both, like there are 2 places that begin with T, one of them will use the second letter of, which is really confusing, the second letter of the word. So I'm like, that's kind of confusing, because how are you gonna know that? For instance, St. Thomas, say someone already has T, so they're gonna have to use H. How do you know that that's St. Thomas? But anyways, I guess that they understand that system. But I thought it was kind of cool, but a little confusing. I prefer just using private and R and H and all those stuff. So overall, my experience in Barbados was pretty good. I got to see different places. I stayed in St. Thomas, which is apparently like the country. Yeah, so I stayed there. It's really nice, quiet neighborhood. I drove around. I got to see countryside. I got to see the bougie areas with like the big houses. You know, they have these residential areas for like the rich and famous. I got to see a bunch of hotels. I got to briefly see the beach. I didn't get to swim. I wanted to go jet skiing so bad. I'm supposed to go to Barbados again sometime soon. I don't know when, but I need to go jet skiing. So if you live in Barbados, hit me up and take me jet skiing. I really want to do that. I saw people doing that. I was just so jealous. But yeah, I got to see a lot of places. I went to the cinema as well. I went to the mall. I went to Sheraton's mall, and the mall is really cool because in St. Vincent we don't have any malls, like none. And then Sheraton's is like this really big place where you can like buy anything. It has everything. That's the thing I like about Barbados as well. The shopping is so good. and like you can never starve there. There's so many food places, and yeah, the shopping is just, I want to buy more stuff, but I only bought like souvenirs, and I got a shirt. I was actually gonna wear it for this video, but I forgot. It just says feeling Irie in Barbados. I really love the shirt. And I got some souvenirs for my family. I got to see a good amount of stuff. It was really good. Of course, when I go back, I have to do more and see more and try more food. And yeah, I'm really excited to do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, this was my experience with Barbados. Correct me if I'm wrong with anything. I also want to hear your experience with Barbados, so just say something in the comments down below and let's share, let's chat about it. I'm always open to visiting new Caribbean countries. Of course, it was my first time there, so it was a great experience. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of Barbados. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye!